Yes, welcome to another beautiful day on Ogtv, and this is Roundtable, the program that critically analyze issues of local and international interest. And today we're looking at one strong topic that has been on the front burner for a very long time now, talking about one of the strong policies of this current administration led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And, policies of government are meant to, attend to certain issues, especially as it concerns the general public. But this particular one is, pointing in a direction that has also generated mixed reactions from the masses and from, stakeholders, relevant stakeholders. That's how we will be rolling on the program today. And I want to just welcome you to the studio of Roundtable here in Ogtv. Yes, you know how we do it. Roundtable, it's a discussion program. I'm definitely not alone on the show today. But as our style, we'll quickly go back to the studio to take a breather. Then when I return, I shall be introducing my guest. And of course, the topic, I'll let the cat out of the bag when I'm back from this short break. Stay with us. Don't go away. My name is Morenikeji Shobaluju. Glad to have you join us again. Yes, like I said before we went for that short break, I was talking about policies of government and how it affects, the people, policies, programs of government are designed for a purpose. And today we're looking at, that's much more topic that's been discussed here and there, and it's talking about tax reform policy of the federal government and what are the benefits really, when we're talking about tax reform. This encourages domestic investment by reducing the tax burden on individual businesses, and it goes on and on to talk about several benefits that is accrued to tax reform policy of this current government. It's long overdue. People have been yearning, people have been calling for this. There's been a lot of shortfalls here and there talking about the tax and the tax policies of government. Today I'm being joined in the studio by a public affairs analyst, and you can call him an erudite scholar. Yeah, he's been doing this for a while. So we'll be looking at tax reform benefits and the benefit to government, the benefit to the people. And today join me as I welcome in the studio Honorable Ambassador David OLADEINDE.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. I'm fine, thank you.
I want to say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. Glad to have you join us.
Yeah.
Yes, I was having a conversation on this tax reform with a friend, a colleague yesterday, and we're actually dragging it, we're going back and forth, we're going left, right, and center, and we're actually considering what exactly are the benefits of tax reform policy. And of course, at the point, we were able to analyze the benefit, and of course, we do otherwise, we look at it from different perspectives. But in your own way, I want you to let us, have a conversation on this tax reform policy. Do you think the benefit has actually overweighed what the problems can be, or do you think it has a benefit to the general populace, the masses?
Thank you very much. I think before I answer this question, we need to go back memory lane. How this issue of tax reform started. August 8, 2023, Mr. President set up a committee called Presidential Fiscal and Tax Reform Committee that take into consideration every stakeholder as related to tax from different walks of life, and they came out with a robust tax reform, 4 bills in one. 4 billion in one, and they are talking about how they can remove some burden from citizenry, how they can reduce some taxes here and there, our masses can enjoy the benefits of being a Nigerian, living of democracy. Those who are earning so low, how they will not be taxed or overtaxed. I think that is the base of this tax reform bill. Now go back to your question that what are the benefits? The benefits to masses are numerous, very, very numerous. Let's take, for example, government have removed from this bill that is the National Assembly, they have removed a lot of taxes, especially VAT, on foodstuff, VAT removed from transportation, from medical, from rent, and other essential things that masses use most. This will return relieve masses of unnecessary burden. It does not even end there. Number two, the benefit goes to lowest earning, which about 1/3 of our population. They are not going to pay any tax at all. Let's also look at it. They also take into consideration those who are getting these minimum wages and a little bit higher. They will not going to pay any taxes at all. And if you look at all these categories of worker, you'll be talking about 98% of them. Those who will get that are going to get tax is going to be lower. It's only 2% of the category of worker in public and private sector that will be slightly be paying higher taxes, depending up to 25%. If you also look at it, you will discover that from 30% initially paid by a corporate organization has been reduced. It's going to be reduced over 2 years to 25%. This will also relieve the poor masses, because when the corporate organization is paying 30% on their goods and services, most of them they will pass it on to the final consumer. These are benefits, and so many more benefits are in this tax reform.
Thank you so much. Yes, you made a point there, but you know, we all understand that tax incentives can promote economic diversification. This means that you know, these encourage investors and you know, people from investment key sectors. But when you look at you know, this as much as it's promoting economic diversification, you know, by creating infrastructure, you know, what proceeds from tax paid by you know, businesses is also used by government to, you know, encourage more development. But the pains that comes with it is talking about multiple taxation. Do you think that this tax reform policy is going to take care of this area where, you know, businesses are no more complaining about being, you know, like you've said, you know, the burden of paying too much tax?
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, it's really take care of this. You know, the problem with our tax is so enormous. Our tax law is obsolete, very weak. Our tax law cannot generate enough revenue for government to use. Multiplicity of taxes, where you pay this tax, that tax. What the tax reform is talking about now is single digit. That we need to pay. Okay, let's take for example now, some states, they introduce consumption tax. And then we are talking of consumption taxes, we are also talking about VAT. These are the same thing. And this tax is going to handle that. And also, a smaller percentage of Nigeria are paying tax. Small percentage. I'm telling you, it's not even up to 20%. So this tax reform will bring in the tax net more people to be paid. And those people that are even paying are the commoners. No earner. Are even paying. The riches are not paying, they are paying next to nothing. The riches, they are paying next to nothing. This is what this tax reform is taking care of. To reform the law, the absolute law of our taxes. They are just ambiguous, very weak, very stiffly, multiplicity of taxes. This reform will address all these anomalies and ensure that the bulk now is part to the rich. Let them pay more. So that while the commoners, the poor Nigerians, the masses will enjoy the benefit of the rich paying more. Because they are not going to pay. You know, if in this tax reform, if you are earning, let's say for example now, a corporate organization profit over the for 1 year is less than 50 million, they're not going to pay any taxes. Do you know Nigeria before, we also tax those people, those organizations that are almost out of business. And it always assisted them in going out of the community. Bankruptcy, they are always going to remove taxes from all this category of people and organizations. So most definitely is good, like your questions stated, that the multiplicity of these taxes is going to be addressed, and it has been addressed in this reform. And then if you look at it, there are who and cry here because of these taxes, and then we should not forget that these reform bills, they are 4 in number. The only area where people are arguing, shouting, is on VAT. And what is the problem? Before, the sharing formula for VAT is federal government 15%, states 50%, local government 35%. But in this reform, federal government will be taking 10%. 55% will go for the state, and the 35% to the local government. If you're now looking at VAT, what that have changed, in fact, before 20% is for the derivation where the VAT is generated. Now, this time around, it has been increased to 60%. That's what is causing the crisis, the controversy in that. The remaining is equality and population, which we take care of the remaining 40%. But now, what has changed again in the derivation is, it is unlike before, where you have the headquarters of an organization producing a product or a services. The VAT will be limited there. But now, it has the consumption state, consumption locality, consumption community. You can produce something here in Lagos or in Ogun State. If it is consumed in Niger State, Kano State, Kaduna State, or Akwa Ibom State, they will charge that VAT for those countries, for those states over there. These are different things. These are what people are not looking at very well.
That's why I have a problem, really. I was actually coming there. You know, when you are talking about value-added tax and, you know, the consumption locality of these produce that must be, you know, that are taxable, you consider the northerners. Now, there have been a lot of outcry, agitation from that end that they don't take alcohol. They don't do, say, the sporting bets and stuff like that. But they are also, you know, being on the tax net of paying for this. And, you know, I think a lot of reform is still needed to be done. A lot is still needed to be looked into by the federal government. Yes, it's a good policy, right? But I think we still have a chain of, you know, something
need to be touched.
Yeah, something is not so balanced. So I want you to talk in that direction, because the northerners are also, you know, they are putting this forward now, saying that they don't do alcohol. We all know that, you know, this is a community that believe they are core, you know, the Islamic community. They do more of what God says and all of that. So they will not take part or consider themselves as the taker of you know, alcohol. So you look at it in that perspective, and you expect them to be charged for VAT.
Thank you very much for that question. I have answered this question on the very fraud that have appeared on concerning this tax reform bill. And a lot of people have been agitating before now, even before this reform, that some people who take alcohol, who buy alcohol, who do sport betting and the rest of it, cannot be making money for those people who says they are not into it. Because you can't be getting money from the same product you rejected. You can't eat your cake and have it. People have been shouting about this. And this is one of the reasons why this derivation percentage is being increased from 20% to 60%. If you drink beer your own region, you get the percentage. If in the southwest, southeast, and south-south, what will you... Okay, let me give you an example. A state like Zamfara did not... I think they could not make up to 400 million naira or thereabout, and then they are receiving in a month billions of naira. Compared with a state like Ogun State, Lagos State, and Port Harcourt, who contributed billions of naira. Lagos State alone contributed almost 2/3 of the fat to the cover of the federation, and they expect them to earn less. And a state who contributes next to nothing will be having it has to change. I think the best thing, I think it is a right step in the right direction. All I want, I'm pleading for this government to do is, at the end of the day, let's go back to regional system where whatever we have, we pay royalty to the central. That is being done during the time of Awolowo, Azikiwe, Tafawa Balewa. There's healthy rivalry then. People are trying to ensure that they have enough money, and then we are improving. The development is so higher, so faster than what we are having now. Imagine a city of Lagos State will be making about 55% to 60% of total revenue of a country and earning next to nothing.
And they are using
and they are also using population. No, make use of your population to produce for you. That is my own take in this. Make use of the population you have, because at everything we'll be talking about population, geographical area, land mass. It's not about land mass. It's about being productive. I think our other brothers need to be more productive instead of using they have good population. Why can't they use it to ensure that they get whatever they want? The best thing is for us to go back to regional system of government, but it's a gradual thing. But in a very long time, we have not had this kind of reform. It's one of the best things that ever happened to this country, this tax reform. Most people are criticizing this, they have not gone through the tax reform. It's about 300 pages. They have not gone through it. There are so many benefits to everyone in that tax reform. I have gone through it several times.
Yes, I even read through the chairman of Presidential Committee of Fiscal Policy on Tax Reforms, that what's his name, Ayodele, you know, Taiwo Yedele, Taiwo Yedele, and he actually listed a lot of benefits of, I'm still going to look at it and see what he mentioned in the benefit of the tax reforms. But, you know, this one critical issue, of course, and calling for, you know, a critical analysis, yes, if I'll put it that way. You know, when you're talking about charging VAT for a community or a region that is not, you know,
productive,
yes, productive one, too, they don't have the consumption rate of to measure up to say that they must pay tax for alcohol they don't consume. But now it is so painful, unfortunate that a region that is taking alcohol, that is paying that tax, that is contributing, like you said, Lagos State now is having 55% or more revenue generated for the country, and they use all of these things to develop all the country. So definitely the northern part of the country is also going to share part of whatever proceeds from all these tax to develop. But I want to look at it from this perspective. Is it possible, really? Is it possible for, you know, to redirect, or for government to look at it and say that, okay, whatever, because this policy is looking at the consumption. Now it's not about where it's being produced. Now it's about where it's also being consumed, and the VAT will be. So is it possible to have more the VAT rate higher? You know, putting it on a scale of preference now, higher in the regions where these products are being consumed more than, you know, lower, very lower to, you know, what we can get in you know, in all these regions. Because I'm talking about, do you get my point? I hope you understand what I'm saying. I'm saying the northern people are saying, okay, if we don't consume this, we are not supposed to pay VAT for this. Say Lagos, for example, we consume this, they must pay, and this is produced in this region. Are you saying that we cannot, the tax reform cannot come to a level of reducing it, what they will pay in the north, and then, you know, have it higher in the
Even the one they introduced now, where derivation will be 60% at the consumption location, and then where we have the population and the quality is going to take 40%. That is the bone of contention. That's the bone of contention here. But to me, we should be shouting. We in Lagos, I am a Lagosian. We should be shouting. And the Ogun State, after Lagos, we are talking about the major three big economy in Nigeria today and in Africa. When we talk about Lagos, we talk about Rivers State and Ogun State. There are so many companies manufacturing in Ogun State. And if a manufactured goods and serving in Ogun State is not taken to other parts of the country, for them to make use of that manufactured goods and services, the fact will be charged over there, will charge for them in their favor over there. Now, because we in Ogun State, I am also part of Ogun State. We in Ogun State and Lagos State should be the one that will be shouting that how we now say, this is producing on our land because it's been taken out. But our other brothers and sisters are the ones shouting that because of the consumption rate, because of the 60% derivation, that is going to be at their own disadvantage, which I am not seeing. If they can mobilize that system to ensure that they increase their consumption level of whatever they are doing, I think it's not going to work against them. How would I even prefer that let's state and do fat? I'll prefer it. Whatever is generated in Ogun State, let it remain in Ogun State. Whatever generated in Lagos State, let it remain in Lagos State. Whatever generated in Kaduna, let it remain in Kaduna. That is the best thing. Whereby they pay just 10% from each state to the federal government. That should be a state law, not a national law, not a federal law. So then, Ogun can have whatever they generated. Lagos will have their own, Oyo will have their own, and the rest of them will have their own. But at 60%, they're happy. It means them to be lazy. I'm so sorry. Other regions, it means them to be lazy. Rest of people are working to keep their fat generation. You are just sleeping. Now they are not telling you that look inward to ensure you also increase the generating level of your own fat. They are making noise. You cannot eat your cake and have it. It's not possible. To me, it should be 100% for each state to keep their fat and pay royalty to the state that maybe like 10% or 15% on whatever you generated. We can't be subsidizing them. If you remove subsidy, if you remove subsidy on fuel today, we should also remove subsidy on fat. I call it subsidy because if fats generated in Southwest, fat generated in South is being used to finance some other region. If you look at East, that want to have a very higher level of fat, they don't have it. What is generated in Ogun State is more than what the whole region of Southeast is generated in fat. So why would Ogun State be subsidizing the East, the West, and Lagos State too? So we need to look indoor and think out of the box to ensure that we increase the level of our generating system of fat and ensure that we also contribute to the federation account in terms of fat. 60% is too small to me. I'm looking at 80 or to 100%. Thank you.
But do you know that there are still some gray areas that still needed to be looked to? However beautiful this tax policy, you are of the opinion that is the best that has happened to a country. But you know, the National Economic Council had recommended to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu recently that there should be a withdrawal of the bill. You know, maybe to enable wider consultation. You know, you were talking about allowing governors to take charge. But Oyedele Taiwo, that's the chairman, said in a statement that they also do a form of consultation to governors and other relevant stakeholders. Don't you think that there's still some areas that this tax reform still needs to, it's not meeting up?
No document has ever been perfect. No document. We can always improve on any document at all. But because saying no consultation, when this thing was set up, there are over 80 people that are part of this committee from all the 6 geopolitical zones, including students. We have about 45 students from 22 institutions in this committee. All stakeholders, from manufacturer, from service provider, from all these NGOs. women's group, different group, all stakeholders were part of this committee. The governors forum, all the states contributed memorandum to this committee. Just to tell you that it was a wide consultation. Nobody was left out of this committee. Why now? A lot of them did not participate the way it should. The committee tried to reach out to the governor. Only Lagos State gave them audience. Even the whole of governor forum gave them only 15 minutes after 5 postponements. 5 postponement of meeting. They were only 15 minutes to present their opinion, and their focus is how to this increase their revenue in their state. Now, say even the National Economic Committee also were part of this committee. They were addressed. National Assembly were addressed. The Senate was specially had a session with them. The House of Rep had a session with them. What am I talking in essence? Everybody was carried along in all this. Nobody is left out. If you are given the opportunity to defend yourself in court and you don't have any defense, if a judgment is given, you don't have that to complain. But even at that, I can also see that whatever anomalies that is in this bill or whatever improvement they want on it can be done through public hearing of National Assembly. For every law to be passed into law, that is what we call public hearing. This public hearing gives opportunity to people who have an opinion, an idea on how to improve a certain law. They can go to public hearing at the National Assembly and hear their view and opinion. But saying that they should be withdrawn. Why would they withdraw because of fact alone? We are talking about 4 bills in one. So because of fact issue now, they should withdraw all the 4 bills. You take them more than 1 year to put this together. What kind of constitution are they talking about? Whatever constitution they want, whatever improvement they want, let them go to National Assembly and do the needful.
You see, it's becoming interesting, but you know, a lot of issues are just piled together in this bill. One of which is local government to charge a tenement rate. How easy do you think this would be to the masses?
The problem we are having in this country is that we don't follow laws. We don't follow laws. If you look at the law very well, it is the responsibility of local government to charge some rate. Tenement rate is one of them. Local television rate is one of them. Lock-up shop and other rate is one of them. But states have taken over all this responsibility of local government. It's not a new law. It's just one of the local government to charge tenement rate. You can see now today, thank God for Achad Bola Ahmed Tinubu that ensure that he went to the Supreme Court and get the autonomy for local government. 99.9% governors in Nigeria have taken over local government's responsibility, even including the allocation. They pocketed the allocation every month. But now, this issue of tenement pay is not a new thing, it is a responsibility. Act of National Assembly for them to start tenement rate. But today, it has been taken over. If we know that it is in our law, that at every month, there is a certain percentage from the state revenue that should go to the local government. I think it's about 10%. They are not even giving them this percentage, and they are also taking over. Government have taken over the allocation of the local government. So how do they develop? In those days when we are still very young, we don't know any governor. We know our chairman, we know our councillors. Councillor is so powerful than the chairman of today. They are doing building road then. We have what they call trunk A, trunk B, and trunk C road. They are doing maternity, all these people hospital. Yeah, they are doing so many things. Health care center then. So, but because state government have taken over all this responsibility, they have made local government to be redundant.
I'm also looking at it from different perspectives, really. You know, the economy is not friendly. Everything is biting hard. When you're now talking about, you know, it's a challenge, really, when you start charging, you know, all these rates, tenement rate, lock-up shop rate, and all of this. You know, it becomes, we're talking about multiple taxation, and you want this. Don't you think it's negative on the part of the citizenry?
No. All this rate you are talking about, yeah, we might say it might be negative because of the present condition of Nigeria, of which we need it. I have said this severally everywhere I have opportunity to hear my view. We need this reform that is going on in Nigeria. We need it too. No government in Nigeria since the coming back of this Fourth Republic that have been so boldly enough, resilient enough, so confident enough to take this decision that is going to kill Nigeria in the future. We can't use the future of our children. Number one is the move of subsidies, one of them. Number two, flotation of exchange rate is one of them. Autonomy for local government is one of them. So many things that this government there's so many reforms that this government is handling. We need it. But let me tell you, when they introduced GSM then, we used to buy SIM for about 70,000 naira. SIM, but today they give it for free.
For free. We
need this reform. You can see now a lot of the cost that is enabling environment for petroleum products for the refineries. People are now springing off from every nook and cranny. Between now and the next 1 or 2 years, we are going to have about 2 or 3 or 4 other refineries. The flow are coming down. We are saving seriously because we don't go abroad, go to overseas to report our petroleum product. Refinery from Port Harcourt refinery, Warri refinery, they are not coming on stream. They are working on Kabwe refinery. We have Dangote refinery. We have Bua is building its own in Calabar. This is the benefit, the gains of the reform of Mr. President. And every time there will be heavy competition. Today, some people are selling petrol for 35, 935, some are selling 925, and some are selling like 950. Because of what? Because there is heavy competition. We have removed subsidy, we are not paying a dime. How can we sustain subsidizing the whole of West Africa up to Central Africa and Sudan? We can't. Things are biting hard. But to go back to your question, that is the fee that is on lock-up shop, on tenement trade, and the rest of it. It has always been in our constitution. Just that most of these taxes have been taken over by the state government.
Thank you so much. Yes, this is so comprehensively handled. Thank you so much. Yes, in case you're just tuning in your television station to Ogtv, we are on the studio of Roundtable, and we're discussing very important topic here. That's talking about the tax reform policy of government and the benefits. That's what we're looking at. So you can also do well to be part of this conversation. Let us have your view. Let's have your contribution on the topic today. The phone line is on your screen. You can put in your call and let's hear you out. We also, analyzing the topic, and we know that you also have 1 or 2 points to chip in. So we'll be expecting your call. Yes, you know that when issues like this arises, it calls for, let's look at the challenges, let's look at the implementation, really. And Nigeria, for a country that I know for a very long time, the issue is not about the policy, but the implementation. How do you see this bill at the end of the day, kind of visualize it? Like it's a robust one, it's a beautiful one. You're talking about the benefit is so enormous that one cannot finish talking about it. But then, how do you look at the be futuristic about it? How do you see, the implementation and the future of, when it is?
What is very sure? What is very, very sure? The same committee that was set up by Mr. President, Perennial Committee on Fiscal and Tax Reform, that will be one of those organizations that's going to see to the implementation of this reform. That is number one. Number two, an agency is coming on board, Ombudsman, that will interface in between the government, the people that pay tax, the corporate organization. That will be this, like a regulatory committee that will handle this implementation of the reform. And then because government has said that yes, we have very robust law in Nigeria, but do we implement them? The answer is we really implement some of these robust. We are one of the perfect law in the world, but implementation has always been the problem. So, but now a regulatory authority is coming on board, and from what I read from the reform bill, the implementation, the committee that was set up by the federal government is also going to be one of those people, one of the organizations that is going to implement this reform. So most definitely it's going to be effectively, very effectively handled by those committees that have been set up, and the regulatory agency that is coming on board.
You know, it's focusing more, the tax reform is focusing more on the big businesses. They're going to pay more now because they are, you know, these are people that have been taxed to be short-changing government. They earn more and they are not paying the expected tax. But when they are now doing such, don't you think this will cause a bit of rise in inflation?
Not at all, not at all. Let me tell you, those, even when they are paying lower taxes, they cut corners. They cut corners. The profit of an organization might be up to, let's say for example, ₦1 million, but they collude with the agency that are taking these taxes, and they might use it to like 200,000 naira. They will pay taxes on that 200,000 instead of ₦1 million. But this bill have taken care of that because they are going to leverage on technology. Technology. There's no way you can cut corners. So we are not talking about. I feel forgotten that a lot of taxes has been reduced for corporate organizations from 30% to 25% in the bill. They are not paying higher. A lot of organizations who are not making up to 15 million in a year have been exempted. They are not paying higher. What this tax is trying to address mostly is to ensure that the masses are not suffer for the sin of the rich. To ensure that at the end of the day, they bring in more people to the tax net. That's what we did in Lagos State. That we are talking about when Abeokuta Tinubu was the governor. We met the revenue, monthly revenue at 600 million naira. Before he left, it's up to 7 billion naira. What happened? Actually leverage on technology, and also bring all the loopholes were plugged, was sealed, and they ensure that they bring in more people into the tax net. The same that happened in the state under this government. By now, today, we are talking about 550 billion naira in Lagos State. Not because of anything, but we are able to plug all the loopholes where our taxes are leaking. And we also bring into the tax net more people, millions of people. Less than 5-10% that pay taxes in Lagos before. And today, the percentage has increased, and will continue to increase. That's what we need. This tax when we address that, we are more people, those rich people, those wealthy Nigerians, where they are paying next to not as tax. Go and Google. How many of Nigerians, how many percent of Nigerians that pay up to 10 million naira in tax every year? Go and Google it. We have so many billionaires in Nigeria. Less than 5%. Less than 5%. There are people who are supposed to be paying billions of naira in taxes every year. But they cut corners. They cut corners.
Well, it is not so easy though anyway, and businesses, some people would understand this better. Yes, I have this message coming from John. John Akiyemi says, I'm smelling unemployment in this tax reform policy. And he said, one of the attendant implications of the VAT rate increase for the economy is the high rate of unemployment. Already it is estimated that over 8 million graduates of tertiary inclement operating climb, social vices like armed robbery and the likes, which are already on the increase. I think what John is trying to say is that he's looking at it beyond the benefits. He's also pointing out the unemployment level, you know, that would be as a result of this tax reform. Do you agree with that?
It is not correct. In a tax reform where lower earners are paying less, In a tax reform where lowest earner are not even paying anything at all. In a tax reform where those earning minimum wages and a little bit slightly higher are not paying taxes. In a tax reform where people who a couple of organizations that make up to 50 million are not paying taxes unlike before. We are an organization that are paying 30% before is going to be reduced to 25%. Would that lead an unemployment or it will increase unemployment? The first is the case. The first is the case.
Thank you so much. And you know, in view of all of these things, I believe that one or two things are also going to be challenging. Really, I also want to agree that there have been a lot of challenges. Don't you agree with that?
For every law, for every reform, there are going to be challenges, but it can be surmounted. It can be surmounted. I'm so sure it can be surmounted. So it's nothing is cast in stone. If they discover any anomalies in future, it will be addressed by the National Assembly by another bill. So to me, let this bill go. Let them pass it to law. If it depends on all of us, and if there's any area like I've said earlier that need to be touched, let them go to the public hearing of the National Assembly and also express their own input into the. It is our law. It is our law. We should not be caught of one clause and everything should be thrown away. No. It's not done.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you for being part of the conversation. We'll quickly go into the studio and take a quick break, and we'll continue the program after the short break. Stay with us.
I just want your papers, please.
Sir.
Salary don't enter. Yes, sir. And month I never even return. Na salary plenty, oh. No wonder I no gree collect roja for my hand. Shut up, sir. I'm here to bail my younger brother.
If it happen.
With good laws,
Proper funding, training,
and cooperation.
if it happen.
Traffic signs plays a vital role in directing, informing, and controlling road users' movement from one place to the other. Always obey road traffic signs to avoid accident. Remember, safety on the road is our responsibility. Drive carefully.
From the Atlantic across the savannah to the Sahara, we rise and land up the free, we know they tire. We dream great, our spirit is undying.
Resilient, rooted like mountain, we swear in colors, we stand up in deeper, we make solutions, we make passion, yeah.
We are wearing chicken because so you know the bay.
Well, I am welcome back and glad to have you join us again on the conversation. Like, I want to also appreciate my guest in the studio. It's been a comprehensive one. Thank you so much, Ambassador. It's been worthwhile. But of course, you know, I want to say this. I'm also fully in support of moving gradually, because we're now moving away from, you know, direct to indirect taxes. However, you know, let's now look at it that I also want to submit that this also would increase, the increase in the tax, that's the VAT now, should also be compensated. That's, you know, my own appeal to federal government with palliative, because when you're looking at, you know, the increments, then something again should come as a so-called, or what do you think?
Yeah. That is a very nice suggestion and idea. But the increase is not going to happen immediately. It's a gradual increase that will take about 4 or 5 years. So what they are trying to achieve in that area is that we will not feel the increase as it will be happening on a yearly basis. We are on 7.5 now. We are moving, and then the major area that affect masses has been removed: the foodstuff, the health, the health, the transportation, the rent, and the rest of them has been removed from this VAT. Meaning that they are protecting the masses. But for those people who love buying flashy things, fine, you know, you can be bringing in cars that worth billions of naira and they will pay next to nothing. Let me tell you, there are some taxes in America on goods and services that is up to 25%. Up to 25%. It was targeted at those people who can afford it. It's not about, so the government are taking care of the masses by ensuring that those things that masses enjoy are excluded from this increase, or even from the VAT as a whole. And the increase is not going to come once. It's going to be, they are moving to 15% from 7.5% for a period of like 5 to 6 years.
Well, it is just a matter of you trying to, when you have this longer throat, let me put it that way, you're trying to, as much as you're planning or you're wishing to be more successful and wealthy, the higher that aspiration is, I'm sure the higher what you also pay. So when you're talking about those who, you know, buy all these expensive cars and all of that, they should be ready to pay for what they want to get. Thank you so much for being part of the conversation today. We quite appreciate your, you know, contribution, and I know it will go a long way to, you know, reorientate people and re-educate, and of course, people are now better informed. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. My pleasure, and I hope to come back again.
Yes,
if invited.
we will do that. Yes, we have wished that the remaining 4 tax reform bill have been passed and signed into law by the, you know, government and by the commencement of this VAT. And of course, I know that a lot has been discussed on this program, and like has been, you know, been explained here and there on different fora, is the benefits, you know, enormous benefits surrounding this tax reform policy. It's just a matter of making ourselves, you know, guiding ourselves through it, and also be a partaker of the success story. So it's that how, you know, time will permit us to take on the show today, and that's the size of the program. Join us again next week. My name is Irene.